If you're looking to buy a Cadillac SUV in 2026 and want the best value, here are my top 3 picks. I'll tell you who each one is for and which one I'd skip. Stick around to the end because I've got an extra bonus one for you. Alright, so number 1 on my list is going to be the Cadillac Optiq. The Cadillac Optiq is essentially the entry point into Cadillac's electric SUV EV lineup. It's designed for buyers who want a very good luxury feel with good EV tech and a smaller, more affordable package of an SUV. It starts in the low 50,000 US or low 60s Canadian, which puts it in the lower end of the luxury EV market. Now, in terms of range, the Optiq is going to give you a decent range. It does come standard with rear-wheel drive. It's practical for daily driving and road trips. It does support DC fast charging as well. Inside the Optiq, you're going to feel a lot of great premium materials, despite it being a smaller EV. It features the brand's signature 33-inch LED screen, which is great. You know, it's big. It's got a lot of great features on it. Upscale materials throughout the cabin, and it seats 5 passengers, 57 cubic feet of cargo with the rear seats folded, making it a practical SUV for everyday luxury. Now, we'll get into some pricing first here. So it starts at about $52,700 US or 61,000 Canadian, roughly. Fully loaded options are going to be about $70,000 to $75,000 US or $85,000 to $95,000 Canadian, depending on options. Now, you do have 5 trims here with the Optiq. Now, powertrain and performance. So it does come standard with rear-wheel drive, 315 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. All-wheel drive is an option. It is a dual motor, whereas the rear-wheel drive is a single motor, 440 horsepower and 498 pound-feet of torque for the all-wheel drive. Now, the performance option is on the Optiq. It's the V-Series, 519 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty incredible, I do have to admit. Now, when it comes to range, 300 miles of range or 483 kilometers on the all-wheel drive. Now, the rear-wheel drive is going to give you a little bit more, up to 317 miles of range or about 510 kilometers. Now, with the DC fast charger, you can get about 79 to 81 miles, so over 100 kilometers in about 10 minutes, which is pretty great, I'm not going to lie. Now, at home, if you are charging, overnight, with 11.5 kilowatt, that's standard, you're going to get about 33 to 36 miles per hour of charging. So about 50 kilometers. Now, you can get an optional 9.2 kilowatt hour charger, essentially on the vehicle, which will give you 55 to 59 miles of range per hour, which I always would recommend getting. It used to be standard, but now it's actually an option. Now, space and practicality, 57 cubic feet with the seats folded, like I mentioned, and it does only have seating for 5 passengers. Now, here are some really good notable options with the Optiq. Super Cruise hands-free driving, which is pretty great. If you do a lot of commuting, I think the autonomous driving is pretty awesome. That beautiful 33-inch display screen, very configurable, very user-friendly. AKG premium audio system, it's pretty good, honestly, in the vehicle. You get a fixed panoramic moonroof. It doesn't open. It is beautiful, I do have to say. You also get 21-inch wheels, heated seats that are standard, ventilated and massaging seats are options. And then the only thing that I would say is if you're looking to tow, it's only got about a 1,500 pound towing capacity. So that is number 1 for more of an affordable vehicle. If you only need a smaller SUV and you don't have like 3 kids, I would say, you maybe have 1, maybe a second one on the way, the Optiq is a very good affordable SUV in the Cadillac lineup. Now, they used to have a gas variant, the XT4, but honestly, the Optiq is just a better option. And Cadillac is doing a great job, honestly, with their EV. So that is number 1 here on my list. So number 2 on my list is the SUV that started Cadillac's EV lineup of the Cadillac Lyriq. So the Cadillac Lyriq is really the SUV that launched Cadillac's push into the electric vehicles. It sits right in the middle as a mid-sized luxury EV. Pricing starts in the low 60s depending on trim, and it offers a good balance of performance, range, and luxury features. The base rear-wheel drive version does have great power. You can get a dual motor all-wheel drive and jumps and gives you great performance, giving it a noticeable stronger acceleration, to be honest. Cadillac also offers a high-performance Lyriq V that pushes output even further. One of the Lyriq's greatest strengths is range to its competitors on a full charge. Inside the Lyriq focuses heavily on technology and comfort. You get a quiet luxury cabin, a massive 33-inch display screen, which is the same in the Optiq. Premium materials, available Super Cruise, hands-free driving, so the autonomous driving, and up to 60.8 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded, which makes it a very practical mid-size SUV. Now, we'll start here. Pricing starts at $60,995 US, or about 74,000 Canadian. Fully loaded is going to be about 80,000 to 85,000 US, or about 100,000 plus Canadian. So powertrain and performance, there's two configurations. You can get a rear-wheel drive, 340 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. All-wheel drive, 500 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque. Now, the Performance Lyriq V is 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. Now, the range is going to change depending on the all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive system you get. Rear-wheel drive, you're going to get about 326 miles or 525 kilometers. All-wheel drive is about 319 miles or 513 kilometers of range. The DC fast charging with a 190 kilowatt hour charger. The DC fast charging, you're going to get about 86 miles of range in about 10 minutes, so over 100 kilometers. And then with the level 2 home charging at the 11.5 kilowatt hour, you're going to get about 31 miles of range, so over 50 kilometers. And then 19.2 kilowatt hour, you're going to get about 50 miles per hour of range, which is over like 70 kilometers of range, which is pretty good. Cargo space, 60.8 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. Towing capacity is about 3,500 pounds, so 2,000 pounds better than the Optiq. And this is a midsize, so only 5 passengers for seats. So some notable options with the Lyriq, similar to the Optiq. The 33-inch display LED screen, which is great, very configurable. You can get Super Cruise hands-free driving, AKG 23-speaker audio system, which is pretty cool that you can get. 22-inch wheels, full panoramic moonroof as well. Ambient lighting throughout the cabin, which looks great. Heated seats standard, which is awesome. And then ventilated and massaging seats are an option as well. Now, like I said, this is the SUV, the Lyriq, that really launched Cadillac's EVs era. And honestly, especially when you look at it at night, it is a beautiful lit up SUV. The cabin is beautiful, tons of space, and honestly, the seats feel like couches, I'm not gonna lie. So that is number 2 on my list. Now, this is a great SUV, mid-size segment. If you need something a little bit bigger than the Optiq, I would say, again, if you have 1-2 kids, it's great. A third one might be a little snug. You're going to get a lot more space in the back, especially if you fold some of the rear seats down. It is a 60-40 split, but I can tell you for sure that the Lyriq's going to have more space in the back. So if you still have maybe 1 or 2 kids and you need just more space in the back, the Lyriq's probably the better bet for you, where the Optiq kind of has a little bit less space. So I would say the Lyriq is going to be better for you. So that is number 2 on my list here for the best Cadillac SUV to buy in 26. All right, so number 3 on my list is going to be the Cadillac Vistiq. So the Cadillac Vistiq takes the concept of the Lyriq and expands it into a larger 3-row luxury SUV, making it ideal for families that want, EV tech or just technology in general without sacrificing space. Pricing for the Vistiq is going to start around the 79,000 US, depending on trim, placing it firmly, I would say, in the high-end luxury SUV category. The Vistiq uses a dual-motor all-wheel drive electric powertrain, producing 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, giving it surprisingly strong performance for a 3-row SUV. Basically gives you the Lyriq V horsepower and torque in this 3-row SUV, so it's crazy quick. Despite its size, it can still accelerate quickly and deliver smooth power. Inside the Vistiq is designed to be a luxury family EV, guys. Honestly, it is beautiful. It offers 3-row seats, advanced digital displays, premium leather interiors, and up to 80.2 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded. And honestly, guys, the interior is no joke. It is beautiful. Now, we'll talk here about price. So again, it starts at about $79,390 US, or about $96,642 Canadian. Top trims are going to exceed $100,000 plus US, or about 130 plus Canadian. So it can get pretty pricey. Powertrain performance, so it is an all-wheel drive standard, 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. There is no V model, but honestly, that is a lot of power in this 3-row SUV. Now, the estimated range is going to be about 300 miles or 482 kilometers. And with a DC fast charger, you're going to get about 80 miles in roughly 10 minutes, so over 100 kilometers. And similar type of level 2 charging with the other ones. With the 11.5 kilowatt hour, you're going to get 29 miles, so about 50 kilometers almost. And then the 19.2 kilowatt, you're going to get about 46 miles per hour, so over 60 kilometers of range in an hour. Now, the space in the interior, 3 rows of seats and 80.2 cubic feet of space, and you're going to tow about 5,000 pounds with this one, which is pretty good. Now, the notable options with this one, Super Cruise again, the massive 33-inch curved display, so that's in all of the SUVs. The leather, honestly, I would say, I'm not a huge brown interior person, but I did a review on a Vistiq Platinum, and my goodness, that interior felt amazing. It was beautiful, especially for like, I would say like a mom or something. I absolutely loved the white exterior with that brown interior. It just looked beautiful. I thought it was really cool. Panoramic glass roof, so a twin panel. It will open up, which is great with this one. It does have air suspension, standard heated and ventilated seats, which is pretty awesome. You can opt for the massaging seats if you want. You can get a ton of advanced driver assistant features, and then you have a lot of charging capability as well. So if you need, a little bit more space, you have, 3 kids or you got 2 kids, and maybe you do a lot of driving with the friends or whatever, it will only fit 2 people in the back. So, if you need 7 seats, this one would be for you. If you don't need the third row, then maybe stick with the Lyriq. But, if you need that bigger SUV and you don't want to spend Escalade money, then obviously I would say the Vistiq is for you. Now, if you notice, I picked all 3 electric SUVs. Well, Cadillac makes a fantastic electric SUV. If we look at the XT5 model, which is the gas variant for the Lyriq, it is not a good comparison because the Lyriq blows it out of the water. The XT5 is pretty much an SUV that is outdated right now. So maybe they'll do a redesign with it if someone still wants a 5-seater SUV that's gas. But honestly, Cadillac's lineup is pretty much all electric in their SUV lineup. So that is number 3 on my list here, guys. So if you stuck around for this part of the video, guys, I told you I'd get you a bonus one. And if money is absolutely no option, of course, it's going to be the Cadillac Escalade, either the gas or the IQ. Now, since Cadillac is going towards more of an EV lineup, I still think Cadillac, the Escalade, still remains one of the most iconic luxury SUVs on the market to date. Inside is where I feel like the Escalade is really going to stand out. The cabin features a massive 55-inch curved OLED display screen, high-end leather materials, advanced driver assistance systems like Super Cruise, and one of the most spacious interiors in the segment with over 120 cubic feet of cargo capacity when the rear seats are folded. Now, the Cadillac Escalade is honestly an icon. We'll start here with the gas, because you can get a gas and electric. Gas has 6 trim options. Starting price is going to be about $93,995 US or $123,336 Canadian. Fully loaded trims on a gas variant is going to be about over $185,000 US or over 250,000 Canadian. This is going to be obviously for the V models. And you can extend them as well with an ESV with the gas or IQL with the electric IQ. Now, the IQ has 4 trims. Starting price is going to be $130,300 US or $161,043 Canadian. Fully loaded trims can reach over 165,000 US or over 190,000 Canadian. So a big jump in prices for sure. Now, the powertrain here with the IQ is going to be 750 horsepower and 785 pound-feet of torque in the Velocity Max mode. That is incredible on this electric SUV. It's crazy quick, it's quiet, and it is very, very smooth when you drive it. Now, the mileage is where this thing really stands out, and it is pretty incredible. 465 miles of range. 465 miles, guys, which is crazy on an SUV that weighs almost 9,000 pounds. You heard that, almost 9,000 pounds. 750 kilometers is the conversion there for Canadians. Crazy. 750 kilometers on this SUV. 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds and up to 8,000 pounds of towing. Insane with that IQ. They've done miracles with that. The gas variant, the 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque with the 10-speed. Now, this is where I feel like if money really is no option, honestly, this V-Series is an incredible SUV. I've done a review on it. It's beautiful. 6.2 liter V8 supercharged, 682 horsepower, 653 pound-feet of torque with 10-speed. Now, when it comes to fuel economy combined with the gas version of the Escalade, you're going to get about 16 miles per gallon city and highway, or 15 liters per 100 kilometers for Canadians, whoever uses the metric system. Capability also on the gas variant is going to be about 8,000 or 8,200 pounds when it comes to towing. Like I said, both of them come with the 10-speed automatic in the naturally aspirated 6.2 or the supercharged variant. Now the interior space, they all both come with 3-row seating. So the seats in the 3rd row can fold down. Cargo space, 121 cubic feet. And it is one of the largest SUVs on the market, especially with it being so big. Key features, like I mentioned, that 55-inch OLED display screen that's curved is beautiful. You also have a screen in the center there to control a lot of other things. The doors can automatically close with a push of a button. You also can get soft closing doors on these vehicles. Magnetic ride control makes the ride very smooth. You've got Super Cruise, air suspension, and the executive seating. So the executive seating is a package you can get in the center row of these two vehicles, the IQ or the gas variant. And honestly, it's a luxury experience for someone back there. You can have trays pull out. You've got a screen there in the center. You've got climate control. You can control ambient lighting, massaging seats, and it acts like a front seat. It's automatic, so you've got automatic seats. It does still have a 3rd row, so that is very useful if you really need to have other people in the vehicle, but it is not easy to get into the 3rd row seating. I mean, check out videos I've done on the Escalades with executive seating. I've done an Escalade V on my channel with executive seating. It is beautiful only if you're going to be driven in the middle and you are not going to be using the 3rd row. I would not recommend the executive seating that way. Honestly, Cadillac is pushing EVs and they make a fantastic EV. I'm not going to lie. They've basically phased out their gas variants of their SUVs. They still have the CT5 and CT4 that you can get that are gas, but honestly, when it comes to SUVs, the Escalade is still the ultimate luxury SUV, I think, in the market when it comes to Cadillac, even in general when you compare it to other European rivals. It remains one of the most recognizable SUVs in the market. I think anybody and everybody would love an Escalade. I think they're beautiful, they drive great, and they're comfortable. So there you have it, everyone. Let me know what you guys think. For a quick recap here, we're going to go with the Optiq number 1. It's going to be the best entry-level Cadillac EV that you can get into the Cadillac lineup. Number 2, we're going to go with the best overall luxury SUV I find for midsize is going to be the Cadillac Lyriq. Number 3, the best 3-row SUV that's a little bit more affordable than the Escalade, of course, is the Cadillac Vistiq. I think for families needing more of that extra space, the Vistiq is a great option. And then, guys, the bonus one, of course, is the Cadillac Escalade. I have done videos on all of these on my channel. Please check them out. I've done recently a Cadillac Escalade Vistiq Platinum over here that you can watch. I also have done a Cadillac Escalade V if you care to watch, because honestly, that SUV is probably one of the best SUVs you can buy on the market. Like I said, if money's no option. So that concludes this review, guys. Let me know what you think. Which one would you choose, or which one would you skip? We'll see you in the next one.